Here we have DNDN called Dendreon. One of the things that we would like to talk about is that they had beaten that stock down for quite a while once they got their drug approvals, and the history behind it, you can go find out. The history that we're going to talk about is that they had talked about sales being higher in their drug that they sell, Provigene. Therefore, the equity itself has had a nice little run from the close of 760 here to prints going off in after hours at 1059. And the other thing that I would like to point out is 45 million shares traded on this movement. So therefore, some of these smaller biotech companies that have, had their big days at one point, like Dendreon, has come down to attractive values. That means that Dendreon, you would base forward-looking sales and whatnot so that you can get where that upside would be. We will we'll get really involved in that at a different time. And the time that we're going to get involved with that will be on a weekend's workshop about why this would be a good buy or would not be a good buy. And what does the next 3 years look like relative to the current price? They marked it down to 760. And I'll be happy, more than happy, to pull up this daily chart right here on Dendreon, our weekly, rather. And you can clearly see about what I'm going to show you here is we were trading it back in these years because we were. Got all the way up here to the highs, like I said. And you can see where it ended up at. So, yes, biotech does have a pattern to it, and it has a trade management to it. And there are ways that you can take advantage of these drugs when they first come to market, such as this right here. But you had to be a seller on the other side of what you owned and get out of this side and get on the sell side of it because you already made the money from here. Now, on this weekly level, we're going to take a look at where a weekly breakout starts and where a turn would start on a weekly level. And we're going to put a trend line there, and we're going to put one right here at the bottom of that big sell bar. Look at that weekly bar back on 731. Look at that. 37.93 all the way down here. Look at that. And this was on 7/31 of 2011. And it went from 37.72 on the high right down here to the bottom of that base at $11.34. Worked its way down and now has some good news. Therefore, by looking at this particular part of the chart and looking at how that 10-week, and it's above the 20-week right now, and how we can get up above there and how we can start getting in Dendreon once we do our risk profile fundamental sheet. And we'll do that sooner than not. So, once again, good news for the biotech, Dendreon Corp. We would also be looking at where that 200-week is. And in the workshop, it's about this big sell bar right here is what changes over here for it to get back up here. Or, it lost all its value here because people didn't think they were selling as much of their drug that they had made for people. And so therefore, the value has gotten down here, and we're going to be watching levels moving forward as to what these levels would look like. And they would be looking something similar like that. These would be the price levels over here, just that quick. All right? Short term is going to be right here. And that's going to be $12.93. So, once again, we're look at buy the dip with MMTs on this. Now that the volume is back, it's just at a much lower price. Instead of it being up here, when we were trading it all the time, going short and long, and all where the hype was over here, is now it looks like we may have some good opportunities, and we'll do our thorough investigation on Dendreon, and we're going to see what that story would be before we do any purchasing. We're going to find that out first, and we'll do that in our next workshop on Dendreon.